Hola, soy Armando Pascual, director de Art City, tu sueño hecho realidad, y esta es la continuación y última parte de este maquillaje de piel madura que sigue aquí con nosotros Guadalupe Aguirre y por supuesto la excelente maquillista Mica que Criola nos ha enviado para fortuna nuestra, así es que en un momento vas a ver qué es lo que pasa. Ready, Mika?
Yeah, okay, so now for the eyes. We already applied a very sheer layer of foundation to just even out a little bit of the redness we see and some of the veins we see underneath. So before I start with the eyeshadow, I want to prime the eyes with the eyeshadow primer.
Excellent.
Because a lot of times, everything is dry, but the eyelids tend to be a little bit more oily.
Okay.
So we need something for the eyeshadows to adhere better to and to make it stay longer.
Mm-hmm.
You could also use the cream liners, but the cream liners, because they're a little thicker, tend to add texture.
Of course.
So in this case, I prefer this one.
Sí, si vemos ahorita aquí en cámara, podemos ver, cierra tus ojos, Lupita, cómo sus ojos brillan un poquito más y eso es por lo que acaba de comentar Mica. Precisamente esa área tiende a sudar un poquito más, tiende a ser un poquito más grasosa en muchos casos y por eso es que ella está prefiriendo meter esta base para sombras para que de esta forma tengan el agarre pero no incremente textura, que es algo que no debemos hacer en una piel de unos párpados que ya están un poquito más delicados de lo normal.
So I'm gonna put this all up to the eyebrow, and since this primer is translucent, it doesn't matter, you can really put it up and around the eye. Just make sure you have an even thin base everywhere because the eyeshadow will grab onto the primed eye.
Okay,
more intense.
You leave more quantity of the product, the shadow stick more over there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So just make sure, dab it in, that you have an even coat everywhere.
Excellent.
And you do not need a lot. You see, I just took that part and smoothed it on both eyes. You can also use this under the eye area, of course, if you want to have a lot of shadow there. So that's the first step. And then what you can do, but you don't have to, is to powder the eyelid.
Okay.
Because a lot of time, because the skin is very soft and very thin, if you try to blend, the skin will move. Especially when you have something tacky underneath, which will grab the product.
Okay.
So if you want very intense colors, a tacky base is better. But if you want a very soft, sheer blend, add a tiny bit of powder.
Okay.
This will decrease the intensity of your colors a little bit, but I'm going for a very natural look anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Of course.
So again, you can use TL powder. You could also use an eyeshadow with a neutral color.
Okay, yes, of course.
So I'm gonna use a tiny bit of TL. Also, again, the same fluffy brush. Take away all of the excess and just...
¿Ya vieron? Pone y le quita una cantidad que pareciera que en realidad no se queda nada en la brocha, pero esa es la situación, son polvos muy finos y siempre algo se está quedando en la brocha y eso es lo que justamente quiere que sea la cantidad exacta. Porque si también pone demasiado, ¿qué pasa? Volvemos al punto, estamos engrosando esa zona, estamos dando más textura y no es lo que se quiere. Aquí queremos una sombra natural y por eso se está aplicando esta pequeña cantidad de polvo para que justamente cuando aplique la sombra la pueda difuminar muy bien y no tenga un agarre tan intenso como podría tenerlo si no aplicamos esa línea de polvo.
Okay, so I let that sink in a little bit and I'm gonna give her a very soft diffused eyeliner.
Okay.
But not with black. I'm gonna soften it a little bit and add brown to it to make it more soft and natural.
Dark is black is very strong for this makeup.
Exactly.
For her.
Especially, yeah, because she has fair skin, she has fair hair. So if we use black,
It's
gonna be very strong.
dramatic.
Exactly, and we're going for more of the natural everyday look.
course.
I will also add under her eye, because she has that beautiful green, I will enhance that as well and make it work into the...
Bueno, lo que hablamos en un principio en el primer video, Lupita ya tiene un delineado ahí azul verdoso. Entonces Mika lo que va a hacer es, lo va a aprovechar, va a poner simplemente un café, un delineador café, y va a hacer una pequeña difuminación de tal manera que también como que se mezcle con lo que Lupita tiene fijo abajo, y de esa manera aprovechemos lo que la persona ya tiene. Así es que en el caso de este punto, pues se va a mezclar ambas situaciones.
Okay, so I will take a very tiny brush. I'm mixing cream liner, cacao and ebony to create more of a brownish black.
Okay.
And I remove most of the excess, like this. And then just in the outer corner, close your eyes. I'm gonna lift the eye slightly and just press it in between her lashes. And this will give, you know, more of a thick lash line or the appearance of thicker, fuller lashes. And make sure to blend it out because the soft lines will work much better on mature eyes. Also, if you want to have a nice eyeliner, like a cat eyeliner, sometimes it's not possible because you have little fine lines that will, you know, change the sharp line. Once you blink,
of course,
it changes. So in that case, a soft blended out version is a better solution for you. I'm just painting that color in between her lashes. Just lift the eye and gently dab the color in. And on the outer corner I can go a little heavier. Just press it on, soft brush, blend it up and out. And always remember that line that lifts. Don't pull it down because this way you can make her look a little tired and we don't want that. If you need it to be a little bit more blended, just add a little bit of makeup blend to your brush and dab it in. This way you increase your working time and you can also make it a little bit more translucent.
Sí, recordemos que el delineador que está usando seca muy rápido, es un trabajo que debe hacerse inmediato, por eso el punto de si se necesita aplicar un poco de este producto del Makeup Blend que nos permite justamente hacer un trabajo más prolongado, un poquito más lento sin que te estés preocupando. Este producto de delineador seca muy rápido, tómalo siempre en cuenta.
So here again, lift the eye slightly and paint the color in between the lashes. So pretty much the upper waterline. You can also do this with a pencil if it works better for you. But the cream liner helps it stay in place all day. So.
And the pencil is more difficult to do a job like this.
Yeah.
No? This product is very gentle for this. Sí, en realidad repetimos el punto de que tenemos que saber nuestros productos, conocerlos bien para poder verdaderamente usar el producto correcto. Para mí, pensar en usar un lápiz en esa zona a esa cantidad de producto con esa delicadeza es algo que no es necesario. Y recordemos lo que hablamos en otro video del aplicador, del delineador en crema, que es un producto que más vale que lo estés usando y te lo acabes porque no tiene una gran vida en tu estuche, ¿sí? Al cabo de 6-7 meses es posible que tu producto ya no esté en la misma funcionabilidad. Lo puedes aplicar un poco de Makeup Blend y eso hace nuevamente la reactivación, pero entonces es mejor que te dediques a aplicarlo que te lo uses en todas las condiciones, que aprendas todas las ventajas que puede tener el usarlo y de esa manera saques el mayor provecho y pues obviamente hagas maquillajes que son muy diferentes a lo que normalmente se puede ver.
Okay, so already you can see that her eyes have more intensity with just that little bit. So I'm gonna finish the cream liner by using a little bit of the greenish tone under her eyes and, you know, making it work with the upper shadow. So I'm mixing two colors to mimic her own permanent makeup. And pretty much same technique. Tiny brush, fluffy brush. And the only thing I'm gonna do to change that line is I'm gonna make it a little bit more even. Because with permanent makeup, sometimes in some spots you will lose the pigment. In other places it will hold. So what you can do to make it a little bit even, again, is just add a tiny bit of makeup. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So everywhere where I see tiny gaps, just gonna add a little bit. And I'm also gonna extend it up and mix it on the upper part with the darker color. Like that.
No nos confiemos entonces definitivamente y trata siempre de emparejar, por lo que acaba de mencionar Mika. Es un excelente consejo, porque es cierto, de repente las pigmentaciones empiezan a perderse en algún punto y en algunos se ve como más oscuro. Entonces, pues ahí el pequeño retoque va a ayudar nada más a que se empareje, se vea mucho mejor y hasta como recién hecho propiamente.
This also helps freshen up your eyes if you use a little bit of color. You don't have to go with all nude tones. Especially exactly what she has. If you have, for example, also blue eyes, to have blue also in your waterline can make your eyes look bigger, and you know, your eyes will look more blue.
Of course.
So you can play around with tones like this and just put a tiny accent to make it pop.
Sí, como muchas veces se dice, no siempre mucho es más, es al revés. Entonces es el punto de aprovechar las características de la persona, sus rasgos, resaltar todas aquellas cosas que son bellas en la persona y que precisamente pues es lo que más incluso ella se sabe que le gusta lucir y por lo tanto tú incrementas esas áreas.
Okay, the only thing I will change slightly on her lower lash line is I will take a very soft eyeshadow and blend it out a tiny bit more. Because remember, hard lines can make the eyes look smaller, and the softer the blend, the bigger and softer the eyes look.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of a neutral brown shadow here around that area.
Okay.
Just to soften the eye. So, small soft brush. A little bit of neutral brown eyeshadow. I'm just gonna add a little bit of shadow to that outer corner. Same on this side. And this will just in general soften the eye makeup look again. That's pretty much all you need. So, moving on again to the upper lid. Now our eyeshadow primer has sunk in, had time to settle down a little bit. So I'm gonna work on the rest of her eyes. So she has very beautiful, round, big eyes. Most of the time, the older we get, we will get either deeper set eyes or hooded eyes.
Okay.
That's like the most common things that happen. Because the hooded eye happens when the skin, you know, goes down a little bit. The deep set eyes happens because we lose fat tissue. So in her case, she has deep set eyes. She has a very beautiful crease line. What you could do is just, you know, use what you have, add a little bit of shadow. But a lot of times, if you increase darkness here, it will be a more dramatic look.
Exactly.
So automatically you have like an evening look or something like this. So in this case, we only need a little shadow here. And I want to even out the skin tone and make it a little bit fresher. I don't want to increase that, you know, that line even more because she already has that definition here. So I'm taking a neutral matte shadow on a flat brush, close your eyes. And I'm just gonna press this on the center of the lid, up to a crease, just to even the skin tone out a tiny bit. You can also use blush colors, but be careful if there's too much red. The eyes can look a little bit swollen or sickly. Okay. So if you use blush colors, it can make the eyes look fresh, but make sure to really separate the lash line with darker colors.
Okay.
Also, when it comes to using shimmery colors, be very careful on mature skin because shimmers will increase the texture of the skin a lot. So if you have a lot of fine wrinkles and you use shimmer, you will see them more.
Of course.
So the only place where pretty much for everyone shimmer will be okay is right in the inner corner. This way you can freshen up, you can still have your shimmers, your glitters without increasing the texture of the skin. So I'm just pressing that on, evening out skin here. Open your eyes.
Prácticamente está aplicando una cantidad de sombra mínima y en los tonos extremadamente naturales, aprovechando ya de por sí la forma del ojo. Ya escuchamos su explicación. Lo único que podría reiterar yo es siempre fíjate prácticamente qué es el provecho que puedes sacar de lo que ya tiene la persona para que justamente hagas un trabajo mucho más natural y que siga siendo a gusto del cliente, porque eso es importantísimo. O del director, porque estamos hablando que puedes maquillar para todos los días, para cine, televisión, etc.
So on the outer part of her eye, I just use a little bit of a darker natural tone, just to also give that dimension. And, you know, once we add darkness to the outer corner, the eyes look more intense. So it doesn't have to be a very dark tone. It can be just, you know, like a milk coffee tone like that, or some of the colors you will find in the face, like what your contour tone would be, something like that. Very natural, very soft. And what I always like to do is use a little bit of the color we have as a blush and run it through the socket or, you know, over the eye. So I have colors that are slightly peachy. But just blend this over to blend it all in. Don't use too much. On a very soft brush. Like this. Okay, open your eyes. Yep. And for the inner corner, I'm gonna use a little bit of shimmer. A little bit. And for this, if you don't want to go overboard with your shimmers, you can use the glamour glows because they are a lot softer than, for example, the pressed eyeshadows. So, exactly. I love this product. So just in the inner corner, use a tiny bit of shimmer to brighten that area up. And you can immediately see that it opens up the eye area. Also here, just dab it on a little bit, like this. And of course, do not forget the lashes. Just want to test real quick, are you comfortable with these?
Sí, algo que acaba de hacer Mika ahorita es preguntarle a nuestro cliente, siempre es importante. Hay quienes, por ejemplo, este enchinador le dice, no me lo pongas porque siento que me doblas el ojo, ¿no? Entonces siempre es importante preguntar al cliente con cuál se siente cómodo. Yo conozco a una personita que usa unas cosas para enchinarse la pestaña, que yo prefiero decirle, bueno, me llegas ya con la pestaña enchinada, porque no, usar lo que ella usa es imposible como maquillista, es demasiado riesgo. Y de hecho muchas mujeres usan de repente, las mexicanas, no sé si las demás, pero las mexicanas están muy acostumbradas a usar cuchillos hasta de cocina. Después las mamás están diciendo, ¿dónde está mi cuchillo fulano? Ya me desacompletaron mi vajilla. No sé, mamá. Ya lo tienen guardado en el estuche.
Okay, look up. And close your eyes. So this way you have much more time and can be a lot more precise with your application. Sometimes also waterproof or water resistant mascara is the better choice, because we have more oily lids, so if the lashes touch a little bit, there won't be a problem with transferring. So I'm gonna give a really good coat of black mascara. On the other side as well, of course.
A ver, Lupita. Caramba.
Alright, I'm just gonna add a little bit with the eyes open, and I'm gonna brush them out. Give more shape. And if you're going for always up and out, this will again lift the face, lift the eye, open the eyes. So always remember
in this line.
That line, exactly. Okay, beautiful.
Great. Un trabajo verdaderamente muy bien hecho, extremadamente natural. Destaca, se te ve completamente otro rostro, Lupita, a pesar de las pocas cantidades de producto que te puso, pero son así como que exactas, precisas. Ya te vas a ver ahorita.
Okay, last step, lips. She still has that lip glisser on. If you want matte lipstick, remove this before applying the matte one.
Okay.
If you still want that glossiness, you can just leave it on. And the good thing about the lip glisser, we have a wheel right here, is that compared to lip gloss, it moves less. Because this is a little bit more compact, more dense. So if we have these fine lines around our lips, too much gloss will, travel up these lines.
Of course.
Also, the more creamy textured lipsticks can travel. So, yes, gloss looks very fresh.
Of course.
But be very careful, don't use too much. If you want to use gloss, just add it to the center of the lip, because it will travel on its own.
Okay.
And then you don't have too much product. So in this case, as you can see, the lip glisser didn't travel at all.
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna add a little bit of color, and I'm just using Lipstick Classics.
Ese es un error muy clásico que suele suceder. De repente han entrado clientes aquí a la tienda y les digo, mira, no te pongas tanta cantidad de producto, ponte menos, solamente esto, porque de repente empiezan a tener incluso el gloss hasta en las orillas de la boca o incluso abajo de los labios. Entonces, no, pues ya eso es un exceso. Esa es la importancia de de también saber hasta qué punto. Yo de hecho, por ejemplo, cuando maquillo los labios, no llego exactamente hasta la parte de la unión de las orillas, dejo ese pedacito porque a veces el producto viaja y terminan con unas bolitas aquí de producto. No sé si tú las observaron algunas mujeres, Lupita, que terminan ahí con el labial que dice uno, bueno, ¿y esa bolita es natural o...?
Okay, another tip, if you want your lipstick to last longer, you can take a tissue like this and separate the layers and just have one of them, like this. You're gonna take a powder puff and use a little bit of your face powder, preferably the translucent one in this case. And then you're just gonna place it over the lips like this and powder through. Because this, at the same time, it will absorb the oils. It will only give the tiniest amount of powder, so it sets it in place. You will not lose your, shimmering finish.
Oh.
And it will last all day.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay. So, I really like this. We don't really have to add a lot of blush anymore.
No.
If you want more, you can also use the Glamour Glows. In this case, do not work them in to increase the shine. Just pat them on.
Okay.
Because if you just, press them on like this, you get less shimmer, and it only will reflect if the light hits directly on that spot.
Okay.
If you blend it in and work it in, you will have that highlight. And we don't want that on mature skin because, again, in this area, we tend to have fine lines. We do not want to increase them. So, what we can do, I'm gonna do it a tiny little bit. Just fine brush. Just press it on like this. This will give you a glow. This will give you a more, glowy, dewy finish because of the slight reflection. But it will not be that Instagram highlight.
Okay, of course.
So, little bit. This brush also helps you because it's not as dense. And then just dip, 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 pat it on. One final look. I'm gonna go a little tiny bit.
Recordemos que Mika aquí no tiene el espejo tan cerca y por eso de repente se tiene que retirar. De otra manera vería directamente en el espejo, haciendo un paso hacia atrás de donde está la persona y con eso ya tendría la suficiente dimensión. Importante, si no lo has visto, ve nuestro video del uso del espejo para que aprendas el por qué tiene esta importancia tan tremenda.
Just to clean up the lip line a little bit. She has nice defined lips, but if you lose the contour a little bit, which also can happen, just take a face liner, lip liner, and reapply.
Exactly.
Yeah. In her case, we do not need to do that because she still has a lot of color in her lips. So I'm just adding the color and cleaning up the lip line slightly. And I didn't take new color. It's still the one I used before. Exactly. So just like this. I'm gonna take up the... And that is your final look.
Excelente trabajo. Bueno, pues ya lo viste, cómo puedes hacer un trabajo de una piel madura y convertirla. Te quitaron por lo menos 10 años, Lupita. Por lo menos, ahorita te vas a ver en las fotos. Bueno, pues entonces, abajo te dejo el link para que vayas a nuestra página. Está la lista de productos. Recuerda que Articity es el distribuidor exclusivo de los productos de Kryolan de toda la línea y también nuestros distribuidores autorizados, con ellos los puedes encontrar. Así es que por lo tanto, llámanos, visítanos, entra a la página, compra en línea y vamos a continuar aquí con Mika. Gracias, Mika. Thank you very much. You make a wonderful job. Thank you a lot. Ok, bueno, pues nos vemos en el siguiente video. Hasta pronto.
Maquillaje como en Hollywood, que es la fuente de la juventud. Como estrella tú serás, bellísima y sensual. Articity 35476-400. Llámanos ya.